Hi, hi. You're listening to our monthly bonus episode for our paid subscribers. We're sharing a preview with everyone, but if you want to listen to the whole conversation on our explosive children, parenting like a wild animal, our take on the new Nightbitch movie, and my greatly anticipated bespoke Nightbitch theme song, go to motherofitall.substack.com and sign up for a paid subscription. In addition to bonus episodes, you'll be able to start threads in our community chat, see our extended show notes, and of course, support our work. Thank you for listening.
I'm Miranda Rick.
And I'm Sarah Wheeler, and this is The Mother of It All, where we take on motherhood through the lens of culture and culture through the lens of motherhood. Hey, girl.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. How are you? You're
I
not in
am.
LA.
I'm not in LA. I mean, usually that's true when we record because I don't live there, but today it has significance. I was supposed to go on a little Rammspringer, I don't know, just a trip
Yeah.
with my husband to LA for 2 nights. I have a Christmas surprise for him. I mean, it could be a Hanukkah surprise. We do both, but
Yeah.
it's
A holiday
right. The
surprise.
phrase Hanukkah surprise does not roll off the tongue, unfortunately. A holiday surprise for him, which was I found tickets to like his favorite comedian playing in
Mm.
LA at the Largo, which like always just has, it's one of those things where you're like, their places are so great everywhere for lots of different
hmm
reasons. And only if you live in LA and New York are like on a fucking Wednesday night are you seeing like world-class comedy. So
hmm
Chris Fleming, who's like one of his favorite
Oh, yes.
comedians, is performing tonight in LA. And I'm sending him as a surprise, but I'm not going because I just couldn't leave my kid with my mom.
Mm.
And I just had to make like a grown-up decision. He's not like a baby. He's 8. He's
hmm
just like the dude is struggling.
Yeah.
There is lots of like throwing and hitting. And it was less like, could my mom handle it? And more like, I can't set my kid up to like, throw something at his grandma's head and then just feel
hmm
feel bad because he feels bad. It's
Yeah.
like, it's like he's like a baby Hulk. And then he's like, what
Yeah.
happened? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Familiar.
know, dude.
As you know, I'm familiar with this.
You get the Hulk moments
We
too?
get the Hulk. Oh yeah. And
Freaking
then we
angry.
get the sadness and the like what happened and why did I do that and
Yeah,
like
it's so
yeah.
sad. And it's confusing,
hmm
like I do part of my job, I don't know if you know this, is it's unbelievable, but I actually coach parents. And like, I got some advice and then, it's so much more complicated in real life. And there's also just kind of like what kind of parent you are,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not a parent that can like sell a hard line, you know?
hmm
Um,
Yeah. So, oh, same. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like I early on, and I don't know that this is like I feel like we make a lot of pseudo choices as parents where it's like I don't know if it's a choice or is it just like if this is my personality? Like I don't lie very well. If a rule isn't really a rule, if it's not life or death, I can't be super hard about it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Rules
Like,
are
oh, you have to wear a winter coat or you're gonna die. It's like I
right.
no,
That's
you
for
don't.
that's for the
You
man, right?
right, right, right. And it's also like I think I have a real thing with like um I get really uncomfortable if I feel like I'm like making something up to him and I feel like he's gonna know. Like,
Yeah, it
you
it's weird
know,
how that is a kind of lie when you're like, you can't. I will notice that more easily in my husband because, it's my job to criticize, just pick him apart until
yeah,
we hate each other.
right.
But like, I mean, it's just easier to see someone else do it. But like,
hmm
when he's like, you can't, have, I don't know, you can't have ham, whipped cream on ham, and I'm
Right.
like,
Yes,
I'm
you
like,
can.
I doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right in my body because I'm like, I think you can.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
when your kid throws a book at your head in a moving
Yeah.
car, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I have moved up to like we've escalated to like your allowance for the day is gone if you
Yeah.
if something like that happens. But it's also like I don't think he's doing it because he's not being punished for it. You
Yeah.
know, he's not like, oh, if only I knew there was a big punishment coming. I could control my little baby emotions that like overtake every fiber of my body and make me do shit I don't want to do.
Well, yeah, you talked to me. You taught me the flip your lid thing. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's like I I I early on
For
saw
listeners,
like
that's like, if you
yes.
can't, you when you get angry, you flip your lid and your higher brain, your frontal lobe is not talking to your lower brain, your caveman brain, your amygdala. And then the most
Mm-hmm.
valuable thing for me is like you don't solve problems with a flip lid because you're just
Right.
talking to the amygdala. I'll put it in the show
Yeah.
notes.
It
I'll
was
send
such
you a
a
cute
big
little video.
well, it's like all of that framing. I mean, the first like parenting book that I read was around the time Griffin was a toddler and he was starting to like say no or like do things where I was like, "Oh, you're not just doing what I suggest you do all the time. What
Yeah.
what do I do?" And I felt like I didn't know what to do when he was like, "No, I don't want to do that." And I was like,
I like that as a title for a toddler parenting book. I have so many friends who are like really easy babies, and then that's the book they need to read. At like 1.5, it's like you're not doing what I tell you to do anymore, and I don't know
what
what to do.
right, like what happened?" And so I read Whole Brain Child because it was
Yes,
short
Dan
and it had
Dan
a lot of
Siegel
pictures.
is the
Yeah.
person that I don't popularize the flip lid.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Well,
wrote Whole
it's,
Brain Child,
and I
co-wrote it.
think what helped me was just like I said, it's short. It had pictures. It was pretty repetitive. It was almost like an essay in book form, so you can kind of skim quickly and it did just keep repeating the same idea. And you're like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, I get it. Like
Yeah, we're
you're
dumb.
saying
We
that
need,
their brain just can't do this yet. And
yeah,
so um uh it's like and I feel like now I've read that Explosive Child book and it's kind of like saying almost the
that's
same thing where it's kind of like
that's my boy
they
Ross
can't
Green.
do like the thing. It's like a kid, what is it? Like kids do well if they can or
Kids do
whatever.
well if
Like,
they can, and like,
yeah.
if a kid's not doing well, it's not because of motivation or, a desire to not do well. It's
It's
because of
because you suck as a
lagging
parent.
skills.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
because of you.
it's
It's
because
because
you
of
suck.
your dumb shit. It's because you let them have whipped cream on ham.
Dang
Um,
it. I knew
it,
it.
it's
It's
because
all
they have
that screen time.
lagging skills. And so you have to
Yeah.
treat those skills the way that you would treat kind of other kinds of lagging skills, like in academics, and not moralize them.